You think you know The Dark Knight Rises? Well, here's 15 things you may not have known about the conclusion of the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. Christopher Nolan said that his brother Jonathan's original draft was about 400 pages and drew inspiration from the Batman series Nightfall storyline, where Bane first appears, as well as the storylines The Dark Knight Returns and No Man's Land. Tom Hardy gained 30 pounds to play Bane.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
If I pull that off, will you die?
It would be extremely painful.
You're a big guy.
For you.
At 5 foot 9 inches, he had to wear 3-inch lifts in order to appear to be the same height as Christian Bale. Tom Hardy said that his Bane accent was based on former bare-knuckle boxing champion Bartley Gorman.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
A 6-minute prologue was shown before Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, and many viewers had difficulty understanding Tom Hardy's dialogue, stating that it was too muffled.
It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
Some of his dialogue was re-recorded before the theatrical release.
It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
The Batsuit was made out of 110 separate pieces, and each piece had to be replicated dozens of times over the course of the production. However, the overall design of the suit was unchanged from the previous film.
Miss Kyle. So that's what that feels like.
Anne Hathaway, who plays Catwoman, was also cast in another feline role. She had been cast as Black Cat, aka Felicia Hardy, in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4. But when Raimi left the project, it was decided that the Spider-Man franchise would be rebooted, and the film became The Amazing Spider-Man. The Dark Knight Rises moved Gotham City from Chicago to Pittsburgh because, according to producer Emma Thomas, they had shot every inch of Chicago on the previous 2 films.
This great city, it will endure. Gotham will survive.
Christopher Nolan and his wife Emma Thomas have a tradition of naming the working titles of their films after their children, as well as putting them in the films. Batman Begins' working title was Flora's Wedding, and Interstellar's working title was Flora's Letter, after their daughter Flora. She makes a cameo in Interstellar as well. The Dark Knight's working title was Rory's First Kiss, after their son Rory, and he makes a cameo in The Dark Knight Rises. Inception's working title was Oliver's Arrow, and The Dark Knight was shipped to some theaters as Oliver's Army, after their son Oliver. He also played Alfred Borden's baby daughter in The Prestige. The Dark Knight Rises' working title was Magnus Rex, after their son Magnus, who played Cobb's son in Inception. For the funeral scene, Bruce Wayne's name on his tombstone was added in post. In order to keep it a secret while filming, the actual tombstone had Miranda Tate's name on it. The actors in the football stadium had to wear heavy winter coats for the scene, but was actually shot during a heat wave in the summer of 2011. Several members of the Gotham City Rogues were actually players from the Pittsburgh Steelers, including former Steelers head coach Bill Cowher as the head coach of the Rogues. Former Pittsburgh Mayor Luke Ravensthal plays the kicker for the opposing team, the Rapid City Monuments. MTV's The State and Reno 911 star Thomas Lennon, who plays Bruce Wayne's doctor, played a doctor in Memento, which was also directed by Christopher Nolan.
Between that and the scar tissue on your kidneys, the residual concussive damage to your brain tissue, and the general scarred over quality of your body, I cannot recommend that you go hella skiing, Mr. Wayne.
The Dark Knight Rises features over an hour of footage shot in the IMAX format, while The Dark Knight only contained 28 minutes. Cinematographer Wally Pfister wanted to shoot the entire film in IMAX, but the IMAX cameras are large, cumbersome, and extremely loud, which would make dialogue scenes very difficult to shoot and require much re-recording. Each film from the Dark Knight trilogy is about 12 minutes longer than the previous one. Batman Begins is 140 minutes, The Dark Knight is 150 minutes, and The Dark Knight Rises is 165 minutes.
Sorry.
Put that thing away before you hurt yourself. Get it!
Tickets for the film's premiere midnight IMAX screenings in New York were sold out 6 months before the film's release. And here's a bonus one. Composer Hans Zimmer used a Moroccan chant, meaning rise up, for Bane's underscore, and wanted it to sound like, quote, the voice of 1,000 people. Instead of getting 1,000 people together in one soundstage, he turned to music crowdsourcing website UJam and recruited thousands of fans from 107 different countries to record themselves performing the chant and use them in the score.
Like a rat in a trap, gentlemen!
You might have the wrong animal there, sir.
That's it for this episode of You Think You Know Movies. Make sure to subscribe, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and get the latest movie and TV news on ScreenCrush.com.